get started. Okay.
Hey, all right. Welcome to our emergency meeting. Let's call the meeting to order of the Early Literacy Curriculum Council at 4 o'clock on July 10th. We will go ahead and take attendance, please.
Megan Dixon.
Present.
Gary Flitz.
She's here. She just.
I see her.
Gary, are you able to unmute or put in the chat that you're here?
Hello, I'm here.
Thanks.
Itzel Galindo.
Here.
Joe Garza. I see you, Joe.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm here.
Bill Hughes.
Here.
Katie Kashabuski. Present. Molly, is it Mares?
Yes, Mares.
Okay.
Present.
Molly Mares. Okay.
Here.
Holly Prest.
Present.
Amy McGovern.
Present. And then DPI staff.
DPI staff.
Laura Adams,
Barb Novak.
and that's all of DPI this evening.
Okay. Do we have a motion to approve the agenda, which is up on the screen?
Motion to approve.
And a
Second.
Who was the second?
Holly.
Thank you, Sally. Holly, and any discussion on the agenda? Those in favor say yes and type yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
All right, nobody was opposed. Okay, motion carries. Little membership update here. So first we want to thank Nancy for her dedication to our students and educators across the state. We definitely appreciate the expertise she provided to the council. And we want to welcome Molly, excuse me, which is Mary's technically the Irish, right? Molly's the Irish name for Mary. Molly, nice to meet you. If you want to introduce yourself briefly to us, that'd be great.
Yeah, sure. I'm actually named after Paul Molitor, so there's no Irish in my family. So Molly Mayer is currently principal at Notre Dame of De Pere, private school in the Grace system in Green Bay. In my teacher life, I taught in Kaukauna, Waiawega, and Chicago for a stint. So happy to be a part of the team.
Thank you. Happy to have you here. Right. We'll do another round of introductions at the next official meeting. So just bouncing back to our agenda. So curriculum list updates, that's where we are at. The point of this emergency meeting was to discuss, as you saw in our message, some information related to what's been submitted in the portal between June 1st and July 1. Which there are 3 curricula that are in the portal right now, ready to go for review. There was 1 submitted on July 3rd, which we need to decide if we're going to accept that one. 2 other programs are requesting an option to be submitted by August 1. And then there are 2 placeholders that didn't have any specific rubrics linked to them. So this is the count that I have. If somebody has a different count, please let me know if I've messed this up. Okay.
Great Minds also has a placeholder. Oh no, you have that. Sorry. My apologies. I see that.
No worries. Yeah. Double checking, triple checking. You know how that goes. Okay. So the question at hand here, first of all, it's time allocations. In round 1, we went with the supermajority of having 7 members because of our time constraints and the number of programs that we had to review. We allowed for a supermajority of 7 members to review the programs. In round 2, our operating guidelines indicate that we would like all 9 members to review all programs. So keep that in mind. All 9 programs to review all 9 members to review all the programs that we get submitted. So thinking about how long it took you to review one, and that definitely varied by the complexity of the program and how well organized the links were. So my question then to motion here, we need to have a next steps here to discuss the pros and cons of accepting new submissions. Therefore, we need to do a motion to discuss this. So a motion to, first of all, accept for review, and you guys can read these and we can talk about which one you want a motion for. The first one is motion to accept for review the program that was submitted Wednesday, July 3rd, because everything is ready to go inside that program. Or we can do the motion to reopen window and allow curriculum submissions to continue through August 1. And again, this would just be for discussion purposes. We can vote on it after. So is there one you want to jump on?
I'll make a motion to reopen the window to allow curriculum submissions to continue through August 1st.
Is there a second? Now remember, this is just to discuss. We did need to do the motion just to discuss.
I'll second that.
Okay. All right. So
Who did the second?
Carrie.
I think Carrie and I did it at the same time.
My chat box was covering you, Megan. Okay, so Carrie and Megan mutually seconded it. So with that, let's call for some discussion here. I'm going to go back to this screen and just talk through. So we have the 3 programs that are ready for review. And then what the K-12 Inc. submitted July 3rd. And then we have 2 programs that are requesting to submit later, which I don't know which ones they are. Barb, did you want to chime in, or Laura, on any details that we might not know of related to this information that would help the team make a decision?
One of the vendors is working to one of the vendors reformed their materials and simultaneously are working on forming a partnership with a foundational skills program. And it's taking, as I understand it, it's taking them some time to get the technicalities of that partnership in place. And that's why they have requested the extension.
Okay. And we don't know anything about the other one?
The other program, to my knowledge, they did not receive a communication calling for submissions, and they had been checking the Wisconsin Reads site. And so they saw it on the Wisconsin Reads site, but on the day of the deadline. And so that they reached out to inquire about whether or not they would still be able to submit.
Laura, is there onus on someone to make sure that vendors get notification?
That to date, that has absolutely been me. And there is not like a national clearinghouse list of all possible early literacy curriculum publishers, right? And so I, quite frankly, am just piecemealing together a list based on what I see listed on other states and what comes up in Google searches.
I'll start the discussion because I'm pretty firm on the July 1st deadline. I feel like we put out communication. People could have watched, they could have read our minutes, they could have sought out a lot of different ways to find out what the deadline was. And I think it's dishonoring the ones that made the deadline to now extend the deadline, especially if they had more that they could possibly have done with additional time and now they've already submitted. So I'd like to hold firm to the July 1st, but I'm willing to listen to discussion.
Holly, I wholeheartedly agree with you. Thank you.
Yeah,
I
and
agree as well. I think,
go ahead.
sorry,
Have you,
Katie.
Tom?
Just to add that, at the beginning of our experience on the council, we had some glitches and we had to delay some things. And I think that if we hold to those deadlines moving forward, I think would be best. I agree with Holly and Superintendent Garza.
Okay. Are there any others who would like to share a differing opinion or the same opinion?
I also agree on the, this is Katie. I also agree on the July 1st deadline. We first published in our agenda actually at the bottom. Anybody that was following our council meetings and read the agendas would see at the bottom that we had posted a window to accept publisher applications and curricular materials, and that was first posted publicly. I think was it a May 16th, I think, the mid-May meeting.
Yes.
So that information has been out there, and a lot of these companies have paid lobbyists who that's their job. And I kind of feel like if the lobbyists didn't do their job, that's not on us. And so I agree with the firm July 1st deadline.
I'd just like to hear Barb or Laura's thoughts on the matter, on why we're even considering changing the deadline. But and so I assume a vendor requested an extension, but I'm pretty much a hard no on extending the deadline. I just like on the record where DPI is on this.
DPI is only, we are only passing through information. Because again, we do not want vendors directly reaching out to the council, right? And so vendors instead reached out to DPI and made the request. And DPI simply said, we will contact the council and make your request. And that is where DPI stands. DPI will support and stand behind the council's decision, whatever that may be.
Laura, that's exactly what I was waiting to hear. That's great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I also think it's worth mentioning that these vendors will be in consideration for next year. They're already submitted. One is already submitted, and we can consider that next year. It's not like it's a done deal. It's just a year out then.
Any other comments? Go ahead.
Yeah, I do think that the partnership idea is really interesting. And I think one of the byproducts of state lists or of councils like this is that it's a way to put pressure on vendors to change. And I think the formation of partnerships, including the partnership that we already saw in the first round of applications, the formation of those partnerships, I think, is an example of what can come from that positive pressure. Those things take time. They certainly could have started trying to form that partnership way back after the first list was created. It didn't have to just happen during the 45-day window.
That's true.
Thank you. I'd like to call for a vote.
Is there any further discussion before we call for a vote? Megan, you didn't chime in at all, or?
No, I don't have anything different to add. And you know, to me, it's not even about the workload that goes along with it. I feel like we just established a deadline and we need to stick to the deadline.
Holly, anything further to add?
No, I agree with the discussion shared by the rest of the group. If we change the deadline now, it feels like that sets precedence to waiver in the future.
Okay, so Joe made a motion to call for the vote. So,
I'll second.
Okay, so then the vote is, we're voting on motion to reopen the window and allow curricular submissions to continue through August 1, 2024. So all those in favor will type yes, all those opposed will type no. Make sense? Okay. Five, 6, 7, 8. We have everybody? Yeah, so it was unanimous on the noes. So the motion does not carry. So we will maintain our July 1 deadline, which would then mean that we would not vet the K-12 curriculum until next year. They didn't get it in by July 1. So then we have 3 programs to review between now and October. Let me just reshare my screen. I've got the calendar dates up here. So Our official meeting next week is July 16th and then August 13th.
Excuse me, could I say one thing? Could you go to your last slide, Amy?
Absolutely, yeah.
Oh,
one?
it was the one with the 3 that were submitted?
Yep. I was going
Just
to
to note
ask.
that one of them is spelled wrong, Lavinia. There should be an I in there, correct?
Oh, sure, sorry. Thank you for that.
Just, you know, in terms of making sure we're talking about the right one, but that's all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'll fix that now.
I also see in the SharePoint folder that Savis has a folder dated June 11.
But is there anything in that folder? There is one. I looked at that already and there's nothing in it, right, Holly?
There's nothing in it.
Yep, right now it's just the waiver. Yep.
So are you suggesting that if they actually finish filling it out because they put the waiver in, that they would be able to?
That's my open question to you. That's my open question to the council.
I don't think it's a question we need to answer. There's nothing there.
What if, okay, so do we just wait and see? Is that what you're suggesting, Joe? If they
No,
submit
no.
something?
Just because they submitted a waiver doesn't mean we have to sit and wait for the rest of their materials. They didn't complete the submission. So it's an incomplete submission.
I agree with Joe. I think it would be really unfair to K-12 who actually has their materials and they were just 3 days late on the completion. I think we're looking at, we asked them to have materials to review by July 1st.
Correct.
And there are no materials to review for Savas, so they missed the deadline.
I agree.
Okay. Do we need to vote on that, do you think?
No,
We're all in agreement? Katie, what are your thoughts on that? Is this, okay.
Yeah, I don't think we need to vote on it. The deadline was the deadline, and in my mind, the deadline means you have all your materials in.
Okay.
Thank you
Because
for
we
the
had
clarity. I
multiple
appreciate
companies that had just submitted the waiver, remember, in the fall, and they never submitted programs, and
Quite a
we
few.
we don't know why some of them didn't submit. So, you know, they weren't full submissions if they only submitted the waiver.
yeah,
I think-
back to Molly's point, you know, if we set a precedent this way, people can just submit a waiver and then submit the materials whenever they want. And that's unacceptable.
Right. What if they submit the materials 2 days before our deadline to actually announce, right? That's not gonna work, right? That's absolutely true.
I think the
And what-
intent of the motion was to maintain the July 1 submission deadline, which would mean that you're not taking K-12 Inc. and you're not taking the empty folders.
Correct. Correct. So we're just taking these 3 because they have all their materials submitted for review.
What is the council plan for communicating back to K-12 Inc., Savas, and Great Minds?
that's something that DPI will do, actually.
Okay.
Thank you, Laura, for that. We appreciate it. All right. Well, with that, then I think we accomplished our business for this particular meeting because that was our #1 question. Are there other concerns from DPI that we need to address related to this topic?
Can I just confirm what was the due date for us to complete review by?
The
For
due
these
date,
3?
yes, the due date for us to complete all our review
October 17th.
is October 17th. That's right.
Okay. All right. Thanks.
So when we come together on July, August, and September, it will be to help one another find and locate various resources, ask questions, get clarifying, you know, have a bit more of an open forum about what we are wondering related to that resource and locating the materials. Other questions then?
Had we talked about maybe reviewing materials in person?
We haven't
Since we
talked about that yet.
We have
but
more time.
Do you want to save that for the next meeting and put that as an agenda item since we don't have it on the agenda today?
Yeah, we can add
Okay.
it. Oh, are there any agenda item request for next Tuesday.
As I understand it, we were not accepting physical submissions this time. Is that accurate?
So DPI did not request physical submissions, in part because we are currently moving buildings and we cannot accept physical submissions at this time. Once the move is complete, we certainly could accept physical submissions if indeed that's what the council would like, and if the council wants to schedule a day to come together to review those physical materials. So that is, I think, connected to Katie's point that she just made, and might be connected to an agenda item at the next meeting.
Okay. So we had talked about the other option for materials would be, because we only have 3 vendors, might be to request specific things you want to see, but we can discuss that at the next meeting as well. So we'll put that down as an agenda item, meeting in person, as well as material questions, needs. Any other agenda items you'd like brought forth for the next meeting?
If there are no other agenda items, can we not hold the meeting since we're having this one?
Well, I think we have to go by the agenda, and so we didn't have any of these material things on this night's agenda because the purpose was only to discuss the July 1, August 1 deadline. So I think we will have to meet, and the other reason to meet would be to just set up expectations about which programs we're going to review first and next, and just general. I don't think it's going to take us 2 hours to do that meeting, but I do think we need to meet just for clarity's sake.
And also Ben Jones, DPI legal counsel, is available to meet with us
Yes.
that next meeting. And I think it was about bylaws. I'm not exactly sure.
Yes.
So
You really like to put a pin in that. That's right. He is available. Anything else? That's a good question though, Joe.
Well, that's I appreciate the feedback. Thank you.
All right.
A motion to adjourn?
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Any discussion? All right, all those in favor, vote yes, type yes and say yes.
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 Thank you for coming in tonight.
Have a great night, everyone.